This is Keri Hilson, and you're watching Amaru TV. It is what it is.
But do you find it difficult when you're trying to break new markets? I mean, how do you approach how you market yourself in Europe as opposed to America?
Honestly, I don't really see a difference. I think work is work, you know. Promo is promo.
Yeah.
I don't even know how it would differentiate. I mean, there are so many regions around the world that still don't know who I am. And if I just have the connection or, you know, my label or whatever to get there and promote and, you know, then I know that, you know, but I'm okay. I'm okay. There are regions of the world where I do interviews and I still haven't been, like Singapore, Malaysia, you know, places, Philippines, and all these places where I've done interviews, but I've never been. So I'm fine right now. In time, you know, the world will know who I am.
Now, the last time we spoke, I was talking to you about your fashion. Now, do you have your own stylist, or do you style yourself? And you know, what inspires what type of outfits you'll wear, you know, for your shows?
Mood. I think my mood is the biggest thing that determines what I wear. I never really plan an outfit like days ahead. I always go with whatever I'm feeling that day. So in everyday life, I style myself. When I have an event to go to, then I work with a stylist, but I don't wear anything that I don't feel comfortable in or if it doesn't reflect my mood. So, you know, if I feel like wearing a sexy dress, I do that. If I feel like wearing tennis shoes or Doc Martens, then I'll do that.
Now, before you said that you actually are looking for talent, you had on Twitter for people to send beats to you. Did you find any good producers through that?
I did. I mean, it was incredible because people sent tracks from around the world. I had 3,000 producers send in 2 tracks, which would make like 6,000 beats. So I still haven't gone through all of them actually, but it was you know, it was great. It was a great thing to do, and I actually I realized how many producers there are around the world that give me a CD or hand me a thumb drive.
Yeah. And
they just want to be heard. They just want an opportunity to be heard from anyone. And because I'm starting my production company, you know, and my publishing company as well, I figured, you know, why not give these people an opportunity to be heard and an opportunity to be paid and, you know, to work with someone such as myself and others. You know, I plan to work on their behalf, you know, to make them successful because people did that for me. So I really want to reach back and, you know, help catapult someone else.
With that being said, though, is it, okay, most people have the perception that when you're in the corporate position where you have an artist under you, that you have to be, like, quite hard or tough with them, or the contracts can be a bit funny. I mean, how would you approach being a boss?
You know what? I'm a fair business person. I mean, if you talk with anyone who's ever done business with me, they know that I'm very fair. I'm not cutthroat, and because I've been in bad situations, so I wouldn't want to do that to anyone else. You know, I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, and I only want to be like those who I respect and those who I still admire. So I don't give bad deals. You know, I don't really play those games with people about being tough on them and pretending as if I'm superior, because I don't honestly believe that I'm superior to any human being on this earth. You know, I don't believe in that. Just because I'm famous doesn't make me better, and just because someone else is more popular or famous than me doesn't make them better or superior to me. We're all human beings, period. So, you know, I would give fair deals and do square business.
Okay. Now, that being said, how much does your personal life have to take a back seat when you're, like, on a tour, you know, missing your family? I mean, how do you handle that part?
Personal life takes a big back seat. It's hard to deal with. It is. It's hard to really deal with that. Especially, like, if I'm dating someone, it's really hard to try to see each other, let alone talk. You know, or Skype. It's like schedules. You have to schedule times to relate to the person who you love. So that makes it very difficult, you know. And family, you miss your family, you miss birthdays, you miss holidays. It's really tough, but, you know, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Now, just touching on that part about, you know, in terms of like relationships, how can I feel like is it difficult when a guy meets you and he knows who you are? How are you sure of his intentions if it's not just to be like, oh, I'm with Keri Hilson, as opposed to Keri Hilson the person?
I don't know. There's little ways you can kind of tell what they're in it for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they want to jump to red carpets, you know, you see, go out to all the clubs and be pictured together, then you kind of, you know, luckily I haven't really been in that situation because I'm a good judge of character. If a guy even approaches me in a certain way, I'm like, no, I'm not going to deal with it. He looks good, he's attractive, you know, he's got his head on his shoulders, but I think he still might be in it for the wrong reason. So I think it's going to be hard for me. It's going to be really hard for me dating to find someone to truly love me for who I am. At night, I wear a scarf, a woman, you know. I don't love wearing makeup in everyday life. So if there's a man out there who who can't appreciate that, at home, what people see is the heels that I wear and the makeup and the hair done. But when I'm home, I'm very comfortable. T-shirt, jeans, tennis shoes. I have a tennis shoe wall, for God's sake. So I collect sneakers. So if there's a guy who would appreciate seeing that side of me, of course they'll get the glamorous too, but who also can appreciate the just Keri Hilson, just me, you know. Yeah. Hair undone, nails chipped,